buildings, verandas, havelis, jharokas, balconies, intricate designs have been built for great poets, artisans, landholders, built by the hands of the unnamed masons and architects who has laid in these tiles and lakhori bricks and designed these beautiful buildings. Today, we are at Chandni Chowk. Chandni Chowk, built by Shah Jahan that time as a symbol of love, is now a world-famous attraction, which is a culmination of history and past tales. Stories of the valor, courage, love, and loyalty are embedded in these sandstone walls. Come and let's explore Chandni Chowk. During the 16th century, large amount of soldiers and people migrated from the city Agra all the way hundreds of kilometers to Delhi. Why? Shah Jahan was making a remarkable decision. He was changing his capital from Agra to Delhi, accompanied on horseback, camel, and elephants, cannons, all his jewels, his family, possessions, and all the citizens were migrated from Agra to Delhi. This was the first major migration done. Delhi was a city which had always inspired Shah Jahan. First, he could never withstand the blistering heat of Agra. Second, if he would want to be the king of Delhi, he would need his capital to be at a central place. He was not far from Bengal, he was not far from Marwar, Rajasthan, and the Deccan was in his grasp. It was central, and it was it was a city of kings. Many people from Firoz Shah Tughlaq to the Khiljis, all successful kings had reigned in the city Delhi. So Shah Jahan migrated all the way here and began the establishment of his city, Delhi, which was known as Shah Jahanabad. At the very first, nothing was built. Only a fort was built. And that was not a fort for security. It was a palace, you could say. Then, following the axis was Chandni Chowk. There were many roads, Urdu Bazaar, Fez Bazaar, many areas were developed. The Ajmeri Darwaza, Kashmiri Darwaza area, Balli Maran, Daryaganj, they were all developed. And soon a very well fortified wall was built protecting the city. This wall, it broke down once during a very bad monsoon and it was rebuilt using the walls of Firoz Shah Tughlaq's fort, Firoz Shah Kotla. Then, later in the siege of 1803, the Britishers had it rebuilt again and restocked, and they were the same ones who destroyed the wall during the entering of Delhi. Shah Jahan had his intentions. Delhi was a wonderful place and it was revived under the reign of Shah Jahan. And Red Fort and Chandni Chowk went to a lot of changes during his successor Aurangzeb's reign, and it went a sea of change after the Britishers came. And now we're going to visit a few remarkable areas today. Mirza Ghalib's Haveli, Chandni Chowk, the Jama Masjid, and the Kari Baoli. And let's see what they have to tell. my soul what Delhi was. It replied, "The world is but a vessel, but Delhi is its soul." It was beautiful Urdu poetry by Mirza Ghalib. Mirza Ghalib was one of the greatest poets who's ever lived and walked through the streets of Delhi. He had his haveli in Balli Maran area, which is in Chandni Chowk, towards the very famous tailor shop, Azad's tailor shop. He had his haveli there and used to write beautiful poetries. He was a very good friend and advisor to the then Mughal king, Bahadur Shah Zafar. He had many poems, and there was a very famous incident when, like Bahadur Shah Zafar, he loved to eat mango fruit. He loved the fruit mango a lot, though his hakim told him not to. Bahadur Shah Zafar and Mirza Ghalib were walking in the night in the garden, and Mirza Ghalib turned back and kept on staring at the mango tree. Bahadur Shah Zafar asked, "Ghalib, why are you staring back at the tree?" To this, Ghalib replied that there is an inscription on the tree. The mangoes of the tree belong to son of A, who is a son of B, who is a son of C. He was checking if his name was in any one of them. Zafar got very happy at this and gave him a box of mangoes that day. Mirza Ghalib was devastated at the destruction of of Shah Jahanabad and Akbarabadi Masjid. His Haveli was saved, but it was turned into a coal and cement factory until in the 1970s, the Indian government bought two rooms and turned it into a wonderful memorial for Mirza Ghalib. He was distraught and spent a remaining of his life over there. It was said on the day of his death, a remarkable person was born in India, which we know as Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Balli Maran was the place where Mirza Ghalib had his haveli. It was also known for a number of hakims or practitioners of the Unani system of medicine. Supposedly, it was a hakim who was fond of Zafar's poetry who gifted him the haveli. When Mirza Ghalib died, the very same Hakim who gifted him the Haveli stood at the entrance of his door and did not let anyone in for a long time. Kari Baoli was one of the many sources of income for the Mughal family. Yes, it was. It was built during the reign of Islam Shah Suri, and it began with a simple Baoli. It ended in 1551, and the Baoli is not in existence today, but it's now known as Asia's renowned spice market, the largest in Asia. Families of Lala Chunnamal had their shops there and earned fortunes through it, and shopkeepers coming from all the way to Afghanistan and Iran came with their spices and products to sell at the Kari Baoli. It was a place of enjoyment. It was a place where shopkeepers they met their livelihood. They've come from all parts of Hindustan to meet at Chandni Chowk. It was a place where British sepoys they even went for their shopping, for their spices. It was culturally enriching. Right ahead of it was Fatehpuri Masjid, built by Shah Jahan's daughter Fatehpuri Begum, connecting the whole road of Chandni Chowk to the Lahori Darwaza. The layout of Kari Baoli was a gigantic three-storied structure built in a square of sorts, with four imposing minarets at the corners. During the siege of 1857, the mutineers, who've come from Meerut and Allahabad, they went and attacked this area and robbed it of their money to finance their mutiny. The Jama Masjid was one of the pinnacles of Mughal architecture, built near Bhojla Pahari in 1650s to 1656. It was a remarkable building. It was the pinnacle of Mughal height and power with architecture. It was not just a mosque, it was a medium through which the Delhi Walas have been offering their prayers to their divine since ages. The mosque had many feet, touch its floors, walk through its corridors, reach its minarets, but it was also a place of lot of mutiny. During 1711, after the murder of the Mughal king Farrukh Siyar, this ignited a mutiny through the Sayyid brothers, who captured the Jama Masjid and used it to infiltrate the Red Fort. Though it was successfully subdued, later on, the ultimate embarrassment, in 1739, Nadir Shah came and attacked the Jama Masjid and Red Fort. Sitting in the Jama Masjid, he had the khutbah sung about him being the ruler of Hindustan. And then soon he went to another mosque, Sunheri Masjid. Now, there are two Sunheri Masjids. One is near the Delhi Darwaza, and another one was built near the Chandni Chowk. That was built by by a Mughal noble, Roshan-ud-Dawla Zafar Khan. He had it built, and many notorious events like Nadir Shah sitting in the mosque ordering for the massacre of Delhi. Then it was stopped when when the ailing Mughal king Muhammad Shah sent a few soldiers to negotiate with him, and that led to the thief of the Kohinoor and the Takhte which we know as a peacock throne. Delhi is like a painting full of many bright colors. They have their own people and their own perspectives. Today, we got the opportunity of reaching out to two of these different perspectives who are deeply attached with this place for a long time and would like to understand from their perspective, from their eyes, their lives around this city. One of them is Mr. Danish, who works with a multinational company but whose heart has been residing with the city of Old Delhi for 3 generations. We are also very grateful to Mr. Danish, who has offered us his valuable time and has helped us explore the city at full length.
I've been into Old Delhi since my birth, and we've been shifting to places as per the requirement of the modern age with the extension of family. But uh, I've been a part of Old Delhi, not from my side, but my fathers, my forefathers. We've been in Delhi since I know, and there are multiple generations which have been in this Old Delhi for long. And there is not one space or place in Delhi which I can say is a remembrance to me. Every place, every locality, every area has a history to tell about about its peculiarity and the significance, be it the lanes of Jama Masjid, or be it the area of Kashmiri gates, Lahori gates. These all places have their own identities, relevance to the histories. So if I go to Jama Masjid, there is a different level of energies, vibes, not from the standpoint of the current time. I can see and correlate and go back myself into the era of Mughals who had created this, you know. I can see the buildings, the monuments which are still there in their existing conditions. Some of them are being still maintained, and some are still in and some are of in their shabby state. So you go to Meena Bazaar, that have its own identity, uh, where you can see the legacy of the Mughals, the architect that they have built, and the royalty that we can see in their lifestyle. I have a very strong remembrance of a place, and the place, my ancestral place, where I have lived my teenage, my childhood. That is again a quite decent place, not the like one which we have as in stories building today, what we are dwelling in. That has a big angan along with a fountain in it. And as a remembrance to my childhood, I remember that normally now at this point of time, when we go back into my childhood and think of those, these are luxuries to a modern age. We used to have a fountain with a huge space around it, open to the skies above us, and we used to do a shower, we used to do all our water games in there, unlike what we have as in water parks now. We used to have those kind of water games at that point of time. So that is one part of the things that I really liked, missed, and probably I would not be in a capacity at this point of time that we could have that kind of an facilities or kind of an phase to give to our childrens. That's more of a fairy tale to us now. uh, Other than this, yes, Old Delhi in itself is something which tells us about the history, the culture, the blend of other works, artisans, and people who used to be there. And that's actually a Delhi, what we call Old Delhi. Outside this, there is no Delhi actually. And this was being gated by 14 gates, what we heard of. But now, to my remembrance, I know that there are only 6 gates which are still there, and one can go and visit them. These remind of how majestic the grandeur, the the lifestyle of the Mughals, and the lifestyle of the people and the way they've been interacting with each other was there. So we have 6 gates as in there. We have Lahori gate, we have Kashmiri gate, then we have Turkman gate, then we have Mori gate, then we have one more gate. I am missing on that. So I would say that people should come, they should know about our history, they should know what has had happened, how the people were there, what was the lives of people were there. You can still find those things in small detailings out there. If you go and stroll the streets, the lanes, the narrow lanes, you won't find all those things now, not in the existing lives that we are staying we are doing in a what we call as a jungle of cements. You won't find those things out there. The life, the vibriness, the liveliness is still there. You'll see all honor of people out here. You see people are there in the streets at 4 in the morning, or probably you can go and see that the lifestyle begins at 10 in the evenings. So that has been revamped, and now it's a culture of, it's a fusion basically of what we have, what we used to have, and what is being there in the current. So I would strongly recommend that people should come and have a visit of Old Delhi.
Through the labyrinth like lanes of the Balli Maran, a single shop stands out: Azad Tailor Shop, which has been serving the country since 1947. We were privileged to get the opportunity to meet Mr. Moin and Mr. Salim, who have been running the shop for ages, and they have dedicated their whole life in the art of tailoring and stitching.
हमारे दादाजी ने इस बिज़नेस को स्टार्ट किया था और तकरीबन 1947 से हम इस शॉप पर काम कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर। तो पहले इस दुकान पर टेलरिंग का ही काम होता था। तो जब पार्टीशन का वक्त आया तो जो लोग यहाँ पर काम करते थे वो लाहौर चले गए और दादाजी ने फिर इस दुकान को संभाला। बाजार के कुछ जिम्मेदार लोग थे, उन्होंने हमें यहाँ पर सेट किया कि साहब ये जगह खाली हो गई है, वो लोग पाकिस्तान चले गए हैं, तो आप यहाँ पर ये काम कर सकते हैं। तो दादाजी के पास एक पुराने कारीगर थे सहारनपुर के रहने वाले, और वो बहुत यानी उनके पास क्वालिटी थी काम की, यानी वो बिरजीस वगैरह भी बना लिया करते थे, शेरवानी, बंद गला सूट, इस तरह की चीजें वो करते थे। तो उनके साथ मिलकर दादाजी ने इस काम को शुरू किया। फिर उसके बाद हमारे पिताजी जो हैं वो श्री एच.एम. फारूकी जी जो है वो यहाँ रहे, फिर उन्होंने भी इस काम को जो है वो संभाला किया, और अब ये जो है तीसरी जनरेशन है, यानी मैं जो हूँ, तो हम लोग ये काम कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर। हमारे यहाँ जो हमने शेरवानियाँ बनाई हैं वो हमारे चीफ जस्टिस श्री वाई के बरवाल साहब जो हैं उनकी शेरवानी हमने बनाई है, और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में एक सीनियर जज थे श्री अनिल कुमार साहब, उनकी शेरवानी हमने बनाई है, और उपराष्ट्रपति रहे हामिद अंसारी साहब, उनके कुर्ते पजामे हमने बनाए हैं, उनके चूड़ीदार पजामे बनाए हैं, और चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर साहब रहे बीबी टंडन साहब, तो उनकी भी शेरवानियां हमने बनाई हैं। पृथ्वीराज कपूर साहब की एक फिल्म आई थी गजल, तो उसमें जो कुर्ते उन्होंने पहने हैं वो कुर्ते भी हमारी दुकान पर सिले हैं। और ख़ास बात यह है कि हमारे यहाँ यानी हैंड स्टिचिंग का काम होता है सारा, यानी वो हैंड वर्क का काम, हैंड एम्ब्रॉयडरी, हैंड स्टिचिंग का काम, एब्लिक का काम, इसके लिए काफ़ी जो है वो फेमस हैं। और देखिए शेरवानी है, ये शेरवानी ये बनाई गई, इसमें 7 किस्म के कलर, यानी 7 कलर का तो कपड़ा यूज़ किया है हमने। 7 रंग का कपड़ा यूज करने के बाद फिर वो एम्ब्रॉयडरी की जो बनाई गई है, जो कारीगरी इसमें की गई है, आप देखें इसमें तो सब हाथ का काम है ये, और सब जरदोजी का काम है। चांदनी चौक जो है ना असल में मुगलों के ज़माने से है, और मुगलों ने इसको बनाया था, और ये कहा जा सकता है कि जैसे शाहजहां का ख्वाब है ये, और हम इसको बाकी रखना चाहते हैं। और पुरानी यादें यहाँ पर मिर्ज़ा गालिब साहब के अंदर हवेली भी है, और पुराने जो अगर हम देखेंगे तो चांदनी चौक और ये जो बाज़ार है बल्ली मारान, इसमें जो है वो काफ़ी जो है वो आपको यादें मिलेंगी पुराने ज़माने की।
It was amazing to see how such a quaint shop produced masterpieces. We are thankful to Mr. Moin and Mr. Salim, who has offered us their valuable time and for giving us a gift, which I will cherish forever. Chandni Chowk was built by Shah Jahan for the love of his daughter, because she loved shopping. Earlier Chandni Chowk was a small road with buildings surrounding by its sides. Poets, architects, artisans, shopkeepers were called from Benares, Fatehpur Sikri, Agra, and Lahore. Soon, time by time, Chandni Chowk became a place where many people had their whole lives depended on. It became a source of income for them. Security in Shah Jahan and Abad was very nice. It was quite a decent management. In the main road, which would begin from the Lahori gate of Red Fort and end here in Fatehpuri Masjid behind Kari Baoli, there was a well-organized road with well-planned streets. A canal used to flow in the middle. Today, what we know as Ghantaghar Chowk. Most people today enter from the Delhi Darwaza, a very famous Darwaza of Delhi, which was used by Shah Jahan if he ever needed to exit Delhi and go towards the areas of Qutub Minar. Interestingly, on Diwali, people used to go all the way from Qutub Minar, sit in the suburbs of Mehroli and watch the firecracker show engaged by Shah Jahan all the way from Shah Jahanabad. Delhi was full of affluent people who had as many as 50 shops, gigantic havelis, and had a bit of the share of the palace itself. One of them was Lala Chunnamal, who was having the largest haveli, Chunnamal Haveli, in Delhi. So, he knew the tide of how 1857 was going to be, unlike those people who were claiming that Bahadur Shah Zafar will win the war. That is why he started financing the British. He financed their weapons, their stay, and all their equipments. In fact, once when Zafar had asked Lala Chunnamal for a loan, he politely declined. And on that same day, he smuggled all his wealth and finances out of Delhi. These buildings have bore witness to all the happenings. They have stood here for hundreds of years. They stood here seeing the beauty and glory of Delhi, all the people which passed by. These walls of masonry and sandstone, they have stories of their past written in them, stories of valor, courage, love, and sacrifice for the Delhiwalas, for their own city. 1857 has changed the course of Delhi, after which Delhi went through a sea of change. But the city will always stay the same, the hearts of every Delhiwala.